Today, I want to talk to you about the battle in the promise. The battle in the promise. When we read the book of Joshua, we see how Israelites crossed the Jordan River and got into the promised land. But one of the things that we also find there is as soon as they entered into the promised land that they have been waiting for, they had to face Jericho, a city armed with a lot of men who's trained to be in the battle. They had to face that in their way. But what happens is that they had to, even though they crossed into the promised land, the battle wasn't over for them. Rather, it was just the beginning. Sometimes we often think that when God brings us into our promises or brings us into a place of a promise, we sometimes feel like it's time for us to rest, or it's time for us to relax. Whether it's a new job or whether it's a new opportunity that God has put in our lives, when those things come in our way, we think that it's time for us to relax. But just like the Israelites, stepping into the promised land doesn't mean it's time for them to be comfortable or be relaxed. The promised land wasn't a place of rest right away for Israelites, but it was a place where they had to fight. They had to prepare to get a hold of what God had already promised them or already given to them. God had already guaranteed the victory for the Israelites, but God had them step in faith and do march around the Jericho to bring the walls down. In the same way, when we reach a promise God has spoken over our life, the battle may not be over, but He might be preparing us for a greater battle that is in front of us. Listen, the challenge does not disappear just because you have crossed into the place of a blessing. In fact, the new battles might just begin. We need to watch out. We need to pray and listen what God is speaking to us. But here's the key. Listen, just as God brought the Israelites through the Jordan River, He was the same God that was fighting the battles at Jericho. And the same God who brought you into the promise is with you in every battle that you're facing. Every obstacles, every giant walls, everything that you cannot overcome, He is right beside you fighting the battles for us. You're not fighting for the victory, you're fighting in place of victory. So listen, don't let the walls dictate what you think about the battles. Don't let the walls make you think that you already lost the battles. Trust in the one who got you here, because He's the one who is going to bring you through all this path, all these battles, all these obstacles. The promised land isn't about the comfort. It's about stepping up. It's about fighting in faith and trusting God to bring down the walls that is in front of you. Don't be discouraged. Listen, don't be discouraged. We all face battles, big and small. Don't be discouraged when you face the battles in your promise. They're part of the process, and God is with you in every step of your way. Keep moving, keep trusting, and keep fighting, because the victory is already yours. God bless you with this word.